Hello, beautiful, beloved twin flames. This is Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming out to you from Aotearoa, New Zealand, with an energy update for this week. I'm recording this video on the 24th of November, which is Friday in New Zealand. And it's been a really tough week for a lot of people, including myself, and really feeling some of the energies of the pushing up and pushing out of some of the emotions that are needing to come up and out in terms of our growth. These may be coming forth as perceived blocks or disturbances, or curveballs, creating a bit of confusion, for some people setting off emotional triggers, so there's definitely been quite a bit of that going on this week. I've had almost a lot of people reaching out to me for support this week, and even including myself. I have needed to get support for my own journey, because I also got a massive curveball which I had to process, and it took me quite a process to come through that. And so I want to share some of my what I do to help me get through those times when things are perceived to be not going so well, and how we can, if we get caught into the view from the lower perspective of this is really shit and I'm feeling terrible and whatever's happening in front of me is no good, or the resulting emotion from the circumstance is really upsetting, and I just don't know how to get out of this, and I'm kind of struggling. And then another sort of curveball, or you sort of ask for advice and you kind of get in that swirly state where you just don't know what's left and right and up and down and which way you're going to go. And so I've totally been there this week myself, so I fully understand that feeling. And so I just wanted to put this video out to share with you that I do feel that this is quite a collective experience. So many of us in those first waves or certain groups will be feeling this quite strong this week. I had a big dream too of a tsunami, so when I get those dreams come through, to me that represents the collective is doing another emotional purge. So from a higher perspective, although it may seem that what we're going through on the ground level is unpleasant and uncomfortable and not very much fun, from a higher perspective we are growing and learning how to see everything from that higher perspective, that we're getting stuff up and out that can no longer be within us, that will not serve us on continuing on our journey. If we are focused on our twin flame unions, whatever energy that this is pushing up and out for you will not be part of your union. So that's why it's coming out now. So we've got to see these times as actually, rather than viewing them as sort of a setback or a negative or a block, that we can push on through and do the work that's required. Again, it's another helping hand, a push from the universe to see what it is that needs healing and clearing. So I actually wrote down some healing tools that I use to get me through those times, and I'm going to record it, and I'm also going to write it for you and put it in the section below. And I also have been called to, for this particular week, to actually do a reading, because of there's so much confusion out there. People are needing a lot of support and confirmation and guidance, sort of on how to navigate these times. So I actually pulled some cards and I've done a reading. So I'm going to attach that as a sort of second part to this video. So first of all, a step-by-step process on the things that help me get through the hard times that may help you as well. So number one, number one is in front of you, you're being rocked by some really terrible experience or circumstance that in some way might demonstrate that you're either being rejected or things aren't going your way, and it's an upset and it's a disturbance, and it results in a strong emotion and some confusion in your mind. So next step, number two, accept and validate the resulting emotion. No matter how horrible it might feel at the time, it's kind of, that part of you that's just really struggling, and your mind might say, it's you can't feel like that, or don't be silly, or whatever. but you actually really need to tell yourself it's understandable and it's okay to feel the way you do. You let the emotion be fully felt and expressed, even if it involves some tears and stomping and tantrums. Let it come up and out, and do not judge it. Just expression, feel. Even if it's saying, I feel really jealous and I'm really angry and I just want to go and do something awful to that person that's got in my way, or even if it seems really irrational and really awful, just don't worry, just let it come out and allow yourself to feel it with that support that says it's okay to feel that way. It's understandable you feel that way. Accept and validate the emotion. Do not invalidate yourself. Right, step 3, provide a healing and processing space for yourself, because you're obviously going through something. So you need to hold yourself in a nurturing space that honors this process. Allow yourself to be vulnerable in that space, and allow yourself to allow that emotion to come up. Give yourself however long you need, whether it's a few hours, whether it's the whole day, whether it's the rest of the week, and let yourself, feel that emotion. I mean, to be quite honest, I probably wouldn't say let yourself feel it for too long, because then that can verge on, self-pity, and then we go into a different kind of energy, which takes a longer time and it's harder to shift. So if you follow these steps, you'll find that you'll process this much quicker. So give yourself some good doses of compassion and nurturing and allowing, honouring yourself that you're going through that process. Give yourself, the hours or the day that you need to get through that. Then next step, number 4, call on some spiritual support, perhaps in the shape of your favourite angel or ascended master, or your healing guides, or whatever is going to help you. There's some energy, spiritual energy, that's going to help support you through this time and help you to gain a higher perspective. For me this week, I called on beloved Mary Magdalene, and she was amazing as always. It just holds me and lets me have my tears, lets me express my emotion, and then provides me with that higher perspective as to why it's important that I go through this process right now, and seeing it also from my twin's point of view, and giving me that sort of guidance. So that enables us, when we call on that spiritual support, to receive the healing and the wisdom and the guidance and the energy that we need to get us through. Number 5, continue as the waves come up, allowing the feelings to continue to be heard, validated and expressed. So whatever it is that you're feeling, perhaps you need to call on a friend. The spiritual support's great, but maybe having that local, physical, concrete, on the ground friend with a cup of tea in the ear to listen, so that you can also be supported in your process to talk about what's happening and why you're feeling the way you are. Obviously it's going to be a trusted friend, because sometimes as we know, not everyone understands this journey, and we can often get advice from friends that comes from their perspective or their own 3D kind of understanding. So you want to definitely call on a friend that understands, hopefully twin flames, or maybe you need to call your healer or one of the twin flame teachers out there to help you process this. And that's great. This week I've had several people calling me, and I think we sometimes really need to do that. We really need to just talk about it with someone that understands and will support you in a positive way, that's going to encourage, move you forward and guide you in the right direction. So number 6, ask to be shown the meaning of the situation from a higher perspective. So again, we need to ask for that spiritual support, and then we need to be prepared to listen and receive the guidance, because there's always a higher perspective. In my case, my support that I gained was actually through listening to a video this week that was put out in really good timing. In fact, there were 2 good videos that got put out this week, but one of them was Marla from Twin Astrology, who put out the video interview with Rob and Angie, and those guys just answered a lot of my questions that I was having around what happens when we need to process some of our painful wounds with other people. And I was really struggling with the potential situation that looked as if my twin was going to be with someone else again, and I sort of felt, really frustrated that this again, do we really need to bring other people into the union? And what I heard from Rob and Angie was that we should celebrate and bless those other people, because they will often come in to help with the healing process. And that's that higher perspective. From the lower perspective, you can't see that. All you can see is, it's going to take longer, and my twin's going off with someone else, and this is a block, this is pain and jealousy and all this tantruming, and this horrible woman, I just want to get rid of her, and from a higher perspective, anyone that comes in between, so how it might seem that comes in between you and your twin, or anything that seems to come between you and your twin, is there to show us what needs to be healed, to help us to heal, and we should bless that. So that's just an example of what it means to see things from that higher perspective. So number 7, our favourite on the twin flame path, is the two really important energies are trust and surrender. So I'll just put that in a statement of surrender into radical trust that on some level this situation and resulting emotion is coming to your attention in order to aid and assist you to heal that which may be holding you back from true inner harmony, peace and balance, and to just breathe that through, to really breathe that truth, because that actually will shift the false belief that's causing you to have that discordance within yourself. So it's allowing that harmonization to enter. So breathing through that trust and surrender that all is going according to the plan. If we trust that, even though it might not look like that on the surface level to us, it might seem like disaster and ruin, but actually, as we know, even disaster and ruin sometimes is necessary in order to clear away what's no longer necessary, in order to create space for the new. So number 9, these blocks must clear. So you've got to get yourself into that state that you can see that this, whatever you're perceiving as a block, it's time to clear it. So we're doing that work. So, push on through. Don't sit there and say, it's a block, and just leave it. It's there to be pushed through, and moving through it and pushing through it, which is actually the fear. The block is the fear. Pushing through that fear. That's why, I'll just say that when we're perceiving it to be outside of ourselves, an external situation that looks like it's presenting itself and bringing itself up to you as a fear, don't blame that outside situation. Come back inside and look at yourself and see how that is representing something inside of yourself. It's showing you your fear in the outside world. So to push through that fear is what is required. Keep opening your heart and trust and love, because when you push through that fear, it allows more love to enter. That's why it's come up for you, because love's trying to get in. And if you don't let it, if you keep that block sitting there, if you keep that fear sitting there, that's not going to let the love in. So be open to the new experience that this situation is offering you to grow from, to learn from. Bless it. Right, so number 10, take some time to meditate, connect into your guides again, tune into yourself, listen, be in nature, allow the healing process, pay attention to your body and what your body's telling you, rest, recover and heal. Now that came up quite a bit in the reading. The readings that I've been doing this week have been really asking for us to do that, to give ourselves time to heal. We're not rushing through, we're just sitting, quietly with ourselves. We're not making rash decisions. We're not jumping into things or out of things. We're just staying, keeping ourselves safe, and just taking our time with this. Okay, so number 11, I just had a sort of a safety warning, because sometimes people can charge off. That's an interesting word, because I want to say, because you're discharging energy and emotion. So what can sometimes happen is, for those that are a little bit fiery, perhaps they will potentially could create more trouble for themselves. So keep yourself safe. If you need to, just limit your contact with others and just kind of isolate, put yourself in a bit of an isolation zone, and just, if you need to, that's not for everybody, but some people require that quiet time just to reflect and chill and heal. Number 12, do something nice for yourself. Book yourself in for a treatment or a session. Take care of yourself. As this big self-care time when things like these come up. And then lastly, I am sending you all lots of love out there, Twin Flames. The path that you've chosen, I know, can be very arduous, and it is not for the faint-hearted. It can be hard-going and challenging. It requires a lot of determination and strength, amazing amounts of trust and commitment and faith that all is working out as it should be. So please keep that faith. I know it's hard in these times. I have wobbled this week. I went out of faith. I lost my faith for a day. I was out. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do it anymore. I do that. So, and I'm standing up here saying I'm a twin flame teacher, but, I'm being real and honest and authentic with you and saying I go through all of this stuff with you, but what I do is I learn how to deal with it, and then I get through it, and then I share that with you so that in the hope that it helps. So I didn't want this to be too long. I'm just going to leave this part of the recording here, and then I'm going to come back in with the reading part of it. Okay, I'm going to pause now. Okay, Twin Flames, back again for the second part of this reading, and just getting asked to take a pause for a moment, just to do a little mini meditation mid-session. So just asking now for all of you, because I'm actually tuning into the collective and feeling a lot of heart pain, and I just want to invite and ask for some support from on high to help with all of us right now, to help heal any pain or discomfort that you may be experiencing in your heart space, and to invite beautiful archangels. I'm seeing Michael and Raphael coming in to hold and support you. Archangel Michael just keeping you safe and protected, and Archangel Raphael pouring in some lovely, beautiful, soft healing energy into your heart spaces, feeling that just going in now and just breathing that in, and allowing for that healing, soothing balm to alleviate any pain that you have been feeling this week, and just to know that you are loved, and that there's very much gratitude being offered to you for signing up for this path and for doing this work, and for how hard you're working to continue to heal and to grow on this journey, and to also asking for some more support now coming in from our beloved guides, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, coming in on high to just hold energy space for Twin Flames, and to hold both the divine feminine and the divine masculine parts within the self, within the collective, and within the bodies that you have chosen to inhabit in this lifetime. Just holding the twin flame journey, the twin flames safe and supported at this time, and just feeling that love and nurturing. Breathing it in, breathing it into your heart, and just resting a little and feeling a little bit more calmer now. And breathing more into the heart, just letting it come in, filter in, trusting that you are on the right path, trusting that although right now it might seem that you are experiencing some difficulties or hard times, that this is just part of the growth and healing what needs to be healed in order to continue to progress. Okay, right, so I pulled a few cards because I felt that there was quite a bit of confusion for people this week, so I'm giving an extra little bonus reading this week. I may take a photo of these the cards so that you can see them, and I'll put them up there. So what we got for, I'm going to not call it Divine Feminine, I'm calling it the Awakened Twin. However, again, predominantly that tends to be the females, or the feminine aspect of the twin flame journey, whether that's inhabited by the male body or the female. So the first card I got was High Priestess, and the picture there is of her reaching up and out. So she's continually extending herself, and yes, she does get continually knocked a little bit and sort of tested on her journey, but she continues to rise up, and rise up again she does, and with every challenge she rises to it. She might get temporarily knocked a little off her perch, but she then says, no, I'm not going to let this get me down, I'm going to find a way through this. And she's doing that much more smoothly these days, and really showing her greater, higher perspective that's coming through, because she is using those skills, those spiritual skills. She is the High Priestess. She's not lowering herself down to the lower realms of the earthly 3D behaviours that have caused so much problem on this earth plane. She has risen above that, and she will see things from that higher point of view. So this week, this is what she is really doing. The second card there is actually the Five of Wands, which traditionally in most tarot decks is presented as the battle. So it may seem as if there's a bit of a battle going on, obviously, too, as we are currently operating multidimensionally, parts of ourselves still in 3D, dealing with some of those 3D on-the-ground situations, and then getting that higher perspective. So that can, in itself, within the self, feel like a battle. And however, she is successful, and as we see, she's got that going on under the surface. Things, have been difficult. It's not been easy this week, so there is some acknowledgement that has been it's been a tough week this week, and there's been some battles going on. But actually, what they're drawing my attention to right now is seeing the two butterflies at the bottom of that picture. And okay, what I'm getting, I'm actually feeling quite emotional with this right now, because there's a lot of emotion going on. As I said, the tsunami has been coming through for myself and for a lot of us. Two butterflies for my twin flame. Butterflies was one of the first signs that synchronized us. It was quite an amazing situation. I won't go into detail about it, but that was my first indicator that, whoa, what's going on here? It was very synchronistic, and it involved butterflies. So they showed me that this battle is for a good reason, because we fight for love. And that's what we're fighting for. We will not fight in the traditional way of how it used to be, where, in my particular case, I will be really honest, and I'll just say that, this week my twin sort of showed up with another woman, and I'm not sure whether that's a friend or what's the situation going on there with him, but it definitely brought up for me jealousy. Yeah, okay, so as much as I hate to admit it. So what happened was, in old style 3D, I would have, that battle would have been with her. It would have been like, oh, get out of my way, you bitch, whatever. I would have been really negative and sort of seen it from that perspective. However, from the twin flame perspective, or the higher perspective, she's obviously coming in for some kind of reason, which is to help us, right? So it took me, don't worry, I didn't think that immediately. That took me a little while to get to that. It took me about a day. So I just want you to know that this is for the purpose of love. That we are but we're battling our own demons. We're not battling the other person, because the other person is just representing something in yourself that you need to look at. Remember? So the next card there we've got is the Death card, and as those that follow tarot will know, that the death doesn't necessarily mean a physical death. It definitely means a death of a part of ourselves that no longer serves us. Continual transformation. A biggie this week for a lot of awakened feminines. The twins that are awake are doing a lot of that clearing, but another massive clearing. It continues. As always, we know we can't at this point say, oh, we've done all our clearing, because as we know, we look around us and see there's a lot to do. There's a lot of clearing to do. So let's continue doing that, and as we do that, we transform, which is wonderful. Now, one card jumped out of the deck. I thought I'd just do 3, but one card really wanted to jump out, and it's been a card that's popped up into probably 2 of my readings this week, and it's again come up. So it's the Empress, and I can't believe, we've actually got 3 major arcana in that, the feminine's side. So we're going through some big stuff right now, big stuff. Just so you know, I'm confirming for you that you're not going crazy again. We're all doing it together as a collective. It's all good. You're doing a great job, and it is our destiny to follow this path. And so just keep having trust that this is all destined. It's all designed perfectly. It's all meant to go this way when we make that choice to be in our higher self, to be in our higher perspective, to see the higher point where we look down on it and go, I can see why that's happened, and that's for a really good reason for our soul growth. And so the Empress has total faith in that, and she lives by that. So keeping that faith going, she to me represents faith in our path, and to keep going. What we're doing is meant to be. So then I went over to the masculine to find out what's going on over there, or perhaps the less awakened twin of the 2, and to see what's really happening there. And again, I got another card that come up twice this week again as an energy in other people's readings. Popped out again. I even used a different card deck, but the same card popped up, and that card is traditionally known as strength, or in this deck that I used today was power in the traditional deck. So there's the lion represented there. So the lion, again, strength and power for the masculine, dropping that need for that to be the type of power that we've had in the past, which is power over others, or control, or manipulation, or doing things in a way that is not in a true heart-centered way. This strength comes from being really patient, and being really honest, and being really honest with the self, living in the integrity, really looking at things more honestly. I feel like this is to do with honesty for the masculine, just really being honest with the self, and not trying to either project or blame things, or trying to just do things underhandedly. This is just coming through. I'm not even interpreting that card as how it is in the deck. This information is just kind of coming through me right now. So an exposure of the way that things have been done in the past in an unhealthy way, that's going to be coming out now. So I'm not quite really sure how that is going to play out, but I'm feeling that they're going to be finding a different way to use their power. It's not an external way. It's not a forceful way. It's not showing the strength as a physical muscle power. It's the inner strength. It's the inner strength that the masculine is bringing in more, and being able to be who they are individually and stand up for their rights without having to conform to the traditional macho way of power. Yeah, that's pretty much what's coming through. The second card they had was that they're going to be offered choices and decisions. Again, this card reminds me of the one that I put on as a picture on my last recording, which was the doorways, and how there are many choices that they can make and which way they're going to go. So again, they're going to have choices. They're not going to be rushing into this. They're going to be sitting and thinking and looking. I'm getting for the feminine that is going to again involve a little bit of patience, because they're there is a little bit of waiting here. There's a little bit more. They're not quite sure which decision they're going to make, but they are going to make also a decision that's not something they've done in the past. They're not going to do things in the same way. They're going to make different choices, and it is related to the twin flame journey. They're going to see that the way that they've been going in the past, again, they're going to start seeing those patterns. The way that they've been doing it in the past hasn't been working. They're going to know that they're going into an old energy if they go down that path. Some of them may go down a path, and they may get halfway along it and go, oh, what? I'm doing the same thing again. And they'll have to go back and start again and take that different road, take that different choice. So what it may look like again to the feminine, so I'm saying to the feminine, have patience, to let that masculine go a little bit off track, what we perceive may be off track, but that's how they're going to realise and learn. They're going to have to pull back and make a different choice. The masculine also got the throat chakra, so what I'm actually hearing and feeling is that there are quite a number of awakened masculines that are ready to start talking and speaking out and on behalf of the awakening masculine collective. So that is happening. It's like that puberty state where the females at about age 12 will advance more quickly and develop faster than the 12-year-old boys. So we've got to that stage where the 12-year-old boys are now starting to mature. They're starting to, it's funny how they give me these analogies, I'm just using them so that their voices drop. So their voices go from squeaky some days to deep. So that's the masculine right now. I hope you can understand the deeper meaning in that. I'm being told I don't have to really explain what that means, but I think you'll get it. So, yeah, that's where the masculine are. Again, another card popped out for the masculine as a clarifier of what's going to be required for them over the next coming times. And again, it's another repetitive card that I've had in several readings this week. It's the Hermit or Solitude. So the masculine, when they've potentially made that choice, some may make the choice without having to go down the wrong track, some may go down the wrong track a little while and then realise they're going to have to come back and go on a different path. It's going to take a little bit of time, and then when they have made that other choice, it's going to involve a little bit more quiet time, alone time by themselves, and they really need to step into that, because many of them have been trying to do that, but they keep getting pulled back into old ways, and so they are not actually spending that time alone, the time that they need. So in between all of us, what we're all needing to do right now as the joining energy of the connection of what will enhance the unions overall is a really clear indication. I use the angel cards, Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Angel Oracle cards, and what I got was a really clear spread that it's about self-care, big time self-care, really looking after the self, taking care of the physical body, perhaps getting a massage, just listening to the body. And I said that earlier, that came up earlier. I keep hearing that message a lot. Listen to the body. Trust what the body wants. The body is, my body at the moment is saying, just take it easy. Take time, quiet. Don't rush into things. Don't make big decisions. Just take it slow right now. Surround yourself with people that will support you and heal, be good for you. Healing people, healing friendships that are supportive and loving and make you feel good, and maybe also get your mind off other things. Maybe they're friends that you may not talk to about twin flame things, which is kind of good in a way, because sometimes it's good just to take a break and just sort of go out and do some other stuff with friends, or have some nice time in nature as well. I'm getting the nature card coming up a lot, and so the nature, as we know, if you're not able to get healing from friends or from other supports, that nature is our most amazing supporter. Even if you can just take a retreat out in nature, get away for the weekend, go near water if you can, near trees and green, be around the green. It's so going to be so supportive to you at this time, just to take that time out. So that's what I'm getting for this week. I am going to leave it there because it has turned into a rather long video, and I'm sorry about that, but I think we've needed that extra support this week. So I hope this finds you all very well, and I hope that's helped, and please reach out to me if you're needing a little bit of extra support. I'm here, that's what I'm here for, and I'm sending you out in the meantime a whole lot of beautiful love and light from on high,